Lesson 35, Quadratic and Cubic Functions. Example 1. What does the function look like? Y equals x squared plus 1. This is a positive quadratic function because the exponent for the x is 2. The function should look like a parabola or a V or U looking shape, and it should be going up since the number in front of the x is a positive. Even though we don't see a number there, we know it's 1 because really it's 1x squared, and it should look like this. So go ahead and sketch this graph, and this is a positive quadratic function. And again, it looks like a U or a V, and it's called a parabola. And notice that the U or V is going up because it's a positive quadratic function. Example 2. What does the function look like? Y equals negative x squared minus x plus 1. This is a negative quadratic function because the number in front of the x is a negative number. In this case, it's negative 1. It's a quadratic function because the exponent for the x is 2. And this should look like a upside down U or V. And it's still called a parabola. When you graph it or sketch it, it should look like this. And it should be going upside down. Notice that it should look different than the one we just sketched above. So this is a negative quadratic function, and it should look like a upside down U or V. And again, it's called a parabola. Example 3. What does this function look like? Y equals 1/4 x to the third. This is a cubic function because the exponent for the x is to the third power. And this is like a squirmy S, I would say. It starts low and goes high. So when you graph it, it looks like this. Starts low, squirrely, and then goes up. So all you're trying to do is sketch it. Remember, this is a positive cubic function because, again, it starts low from left and then does this little squirmy thing and then goes up. And this is a positive cubic function. Example 4. What does this function look like? Y equals negative x to the third plus 1. This is a negative cubic function because the number in front of the x is a negative. It's cubic because the exponent for the x is 3 to the third power. And this one should start high and go down and do the little squirmy thing and go all the way down. Again, this is a negative cubic function. Notice it starts high again and ends low, which is different than the positive cubic function. Sentence frame for a quadratic function. A blank is a function in which the greatest power of the variable is 2. The most basic quadratic function is y equals nx squared, where n cannot be equal to 0. The graphs of all quadratic functions have the same basic shape, and it is called a blank. Sentence frame for a cubic function. A blank is a function in which the greatest power of the variable is 3, and the most basic cubic function is y equals nx to the third power, where n cannot be equal to 0.